Well, greetings, hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Healing for the Family. This is a podcast we hope will redeem the place of the family as the basic unit for society. We continue to be grateful for your support, your choosing to journey with us as we try to do our best to help families find God's healing and be thriving families, and just raise children in the ways that the Lord would have them do. In the last episode, we were having a conversation on connecting generations. I like the sound of that, connecting. In fact, that's what we'll call this episode.
No, you
connecting
will not. You
generation.
cannot do that. I have enough witnesses saying you shouldn't.
But yet again, we are joined by Shalom, who has just been amazing to us, just giving us amazing lessons on how to, break cycles of trauma and connect generations in a healthy way. When we finished last episode, we were talking about generally about connecting generations. And there are a couple of things you had mentioned at the end of that episode that I wanted us to go back to. And the first one is the conversations that are transactional between parents and their children, transactional versus transformational conversation. Just help me understand that a little bit before we proceed. Yeah.
Now, transactional is really about, what do I call it? Getting something in return.
Yeah.
Right? So I had shared that there was this girl who said that the relationship between her and her father is transactional.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And for her, she says, it's simple. I give him good grades, he pays my fees.
Yes.
So we are very clear. We don't have to love each other. We don't have to share anything else. No other problems.
Yeah.
Or no other triumphs.
Yeah.
I give him good grades.
Yeah.
He pays my school fees.
Yeah.
So a transactional relationship is really one where somebody gets something in return or in exchange, right? So the example I had shared was of a girl who had said that her father and her have a transactional relationship. And for her it is, she gives him good grades, he pays the school fees. Enough said, right? And as long as both of them are maintaining those deliverables, then they will have a relationship, right? Transformational relationship, on the other hand, seeks to see a change, usually for the better.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, the one that we see is where the child is the one transforming.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're the ones who are growing.
Yeah.
Though when done well, the parent also experiences some transformation. They become a better person. So the thing we should be looking towards having is transformational relationships with our children. Where they're becoming more responsible. They're becoming better able to manage their life. They're becoming more social, or they thrive in whatever it is that they choose to do. They're becoming confident in the choices that they make, and they're able to understand the why behind those choices. So their decision-making process is a certain way. Then when you as a parent are transforming, you're probably becoming more tolerant. You're working, parenting brings out the worst in us. I think only second to marriage. But you are also changing for the better in that process. So you can say that one is a transformational relationship.
Of course, marriage and parenting test you in ways you would never imagine possible to be tested.
Oh, yeah.
How do you distinguish between positive reinforcement of good behavior and transaction? Because it's kind of feel for me that there might be a thin line sometimes in reinforcing something positively and there being a transactional relationship.
Okay, if we use that example that I gave, it would be very, very clear. A parent should not pay fees for their child just because they're getting good grades. Right? So that is not, there's no positive or whatever reinforcement there. Positive reinforcement, basically, I don't know, if I was to explain it in the simplest way possible, is that whatever the child is doing, in this case, the child, whatever the child is doing, they're not feeling pain to be affirmed or to continue that behavior. So let's pick something the children do that's pretty irritating and you want them to change. Making noise in class. Or, okay, let's say just not doing their chores at home because it's a parenting thing.
Yeah.
So child is not doing their chores at home. Negative reinforcement still works, by the way, but it causes pain.
Yes.
There's some pain element when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Positive reinforcement is more about picking something that the child did, pegging on that and saying, you are so responsible when you did this and this. Can you do this? And just showing the link between, hey, you will be a better person. You'll be showing that you're a better person if you actually get this done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's something that seeks to grow the child more than seeks to cause them pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between that and transactional? At no point are you saying, if you do this, I will do this.
So
there's no exchange.
Transaction it's definitely conditional. It's
What's
based
in it for
on
me?
the performance of the child.
Yes.
As
opposed to reinforcement. Which is reinforcing a certain behavior.
It is. Yeah.
Yes.
And I find that this kind of parenting then creates, even for us, a performance culture, where even for parents, it's just performance culture.
Yep.
Where you have to do and be things you are not in order to impress your parents, impress even your children and the society. Let's go back to this conversation then on connecting generations. Now, for the generations to be connected, then it means there is the gap we were talking about.
Yeah.
And that gap, it can't have been easier for that gap to be created. There must have been some sense of betrayal, some sense of brokenness, some sense of trauma and conflict that caused for there to be the rift between parents and their children. In the work that you do, maybe tell us a little bit about that. What are some of the wounds that you see children and their parents carrying that need to be healed for that connection to happen in a healthy way?
Oh, wow.
Or I ask difficult questions.
That is not a difficult question. It is a very necessary question, I think, and it needs to be asked more often than we're actually doing it. It's also a question that brings about a lot of pain because, like you're saying, there is trauma and it has come from different places.
Yeah.
And so in the current world, one of the ones I'm seeing, like I said, I think in the last episode, I basically also do some counseling, therapy with children, with teens, young adults and family at large. And one of the things that has been happening is broken homes are many more today than they were then. And one of the things that's causing pain is a resemblance of children to the person who caused pain in the relationship. So you have a son who looks like his father, and his father caused you pain. You have a daughter who looks like, the mother. The mother is, whatever you may want to call her. You find that it's harder to parent those children.
Yeah.
And therefore there is conflict even within the home just because of what this child symbolizes.
Yeah.
They already came and represent a point of pain for you, right? So there's conflict at that point. There is behavioral things, like somebody's behaving like their dad or their mom, and you have a problem with that. So that is taken out a lot on children. And children don't understand why that is happening.
Yeah.
Then the other one with blended homes and things like that. There is just that whole dynamic that comes from you're favoring so-and-so more than, me and whatever, you're unfair. And children will still say that it's unfair, even when they're siblings from the same parents. But it's worsening because of the dynamic of the family today. We have things like frustrations, adults not knowing where to take out their frustrations. And so they come and take them out on the children.
Yeah.
So you find the work environment, like we had talked earlier.
Yes, but
The work environment is not pro-family.
Yeah.
So you're so frustrated in the office, then you come home and this kid thinks they're who?
Yeah.
Why would they be asking you such whatever? Why are they on your case? Can't they leave you? Can't they see that you're tired? We forget that child was not with us the whole day.
And
this is their time they're feeling like this is when I need to connect with my mom, with my dad or whoever. And that's actually what caused, this whole CBC thing. That's one of the contributing factors. That parents were coming home in the evening after a long day of work. You're stuck in traffic. And there's an assignment for you to do. Make a scarecrow,
Make
kind
a
of thing.
Or bring beach sand and live in Rongai.
At least Rongai has dry places. You can fake it. But because the work environment is not supporting family, there's frustrations being taken across generations.
Yeah.
And once upon a time, you thought life was going to be easy. You thought that you'll grow up, fall in love, get babies, and raise a family.
Yeah.
But now everything is working against you. So
Yeah.
that at the end of it all, it's causing children to grow up feeling rejected. Now, what do rejected children do? Some will seek attention.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, hey, if the only time you actually talk to me is when I've done something bad,
Yeah.
then let me be bad.
Then let me be bad.
Yeah, so that you can
I'll
be
do-
called to school. You don't even
Yeah.
know where I go to
I
school.
can do bad all by myself.
I can do bad all by myself, and
Yeah.
I'll show you how.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of how that whole genetic makeup works, our children are bigger, badder, and better at being bad than we are. And so we are having everybody getting frustrated by this thing that is not working, and nobody is pausing long enough to ask,
Yeah.
what can we do about it?
Yeah.
Because the minute they look and say, okay, fine, my work is so frustrating,
Yeah.
how can I get help? Then actually ask for help, not take asking for help to be a sign of weakness. You will get people supporting you. If we go back to creating whatever village it is that can support us to raise these children, there'll be less disconnect, there'll be more healing, just accepting, you know what, it's hard, I can't do this by myself. And then also, if you're going to expect people to ask for help, I think we also need to be willing to offer that help.
Yeah.
Because some of us need to understand that it's hard for people to actually ask for help.
Yeah.
So can we actually go and offer?
Yeah.
Look out and see certain mom, certain dad is suffering.
Yeah.
Can you actually offer to help them
Yeah.
with something or the other?
Yeah.
Take their kids. I mean, one of the things I used to do when my kids were in Sunday school,
Yeah.
we used to go with the neighbors' children. I don't care that you're hanging or whatever it is you had a rough night. Bring your kids. Let me get your kids off your laps for at least 2 to 3 hours. Go with them to church or wherever, and then bring them back later on. Let's help each other as society, and it will be a big step
Yeah.
towards the healing journey.
I hear you say that we need to resurrect the village. The village is dead.
No, the village moved on.
The village
it's
moved.
Not dead.
It's not dead.
No,
It's,
the village didn't die. It just shifted.
It just shifted.
Location.
And now we need to figure out how to bring it
Bring
how
it
to
back
bring it,
to
how to bring
our
it back.
control, so to speak.
It's isn't that a lot of work?
Is that a lot of work? Actually, yes.
Uh-huh.
It is so much work.
Yeah.
But it's not as much as you're going to pay at
It's
the end
not-
of the
yeah,
line
yeah.
when you're facing the consequences of your children not having had
Yeah.
people around them
Yeah.
that can support them through this journey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I'm saying the village has moved online,
Yeah.
we are complaining about our children being online.
Yeah.
But where else do you want them to be? Right? That world has been created to fill in the gaps that are already
Yeah.
existing.
Yeah.
But I think the last episode we talked about creating alternatives for our children.
Yeah.
Having the books, the games, and things like that. When your child has something else to do, you won't struggle too much telling them get offline. When they have friends that they can team up with, when they have not necessarily siblings because, we're not giving birth to as many children as we used to. When they don't have company, then they're going to go where company is. And a lot of the time today, that's happening online. So what we need to do with the village is make it more physical
Yeah.
and more intentional.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
choose. Not every brother or relative is the best to have in your village.
Yeah.
We are paying prices for having assumed
Yeah.
that family is it.
Is it? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Understand that family may not be it, but still you need to be intentional about who you create around your children.
Yeah.
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 So the village, yes, needs to come back.
The village need to come back. I am the reason I'm pausing again. You like releasing explosions in my head
I am so sorry.
because I'm thinking. Say we live in a neighborhood like the one we're in right now, and everyone. We all have lives that we want to live. The gated communities and the advent of gated communities and locked doors is what we are living with right now. To bring back the village and take the village offline and bring it back, it means there are some practical things that we have to do. in a neighborhood like this. And some of those things are going to be very uncomfortable, like knocking on the doors. I remember in our time growing up, the village was our parents had to tell us usikule kwa jirani because we were always at the jirani's.
Exactly.
But now you can't even knock. There's no door to knock anymore. There's a gate and there's a dog, and so we have to sort of bring down the walls, break the gates, and keep the dogs in their kennel until later, so that we create space for our children to interact, and not just our children to interact. Now the parents having to give up a lot of things for that village to be awakened. In your experience, what are some of the practical things that parents can do now to begin to rebuild our villages?
Wow. It's as simple as just walking out of your door.
Just walk out.
Just walk out of your door.
Yeah.
And walk to the gate or past whoever,
Yeah.
just walk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If enough of us were outside,
Yeah.
you would see a face that you have seen twice or thrice in your neighborhood and understand that could be your neighbor.
Yeah.
Roll down your windows.
Yeah.
We are driving
Roll down
these
your windows.
tinted cars.
Say hi.
Just roll down the window.
Yeah.
First, roll down the window.
Yeah.
So you can recognize that this face, I have seen it twice,
yeah,
thrice.
Yeah.
So this person might be from around.
Yeah.
Do you get?
Yeah.
You're not just going to go saying hi to everybody, but at least start the short steps to get there. A very good excuse is children.
Yeah.
Because children naturally play with each other.
Yes.
When they're playing with each other, don't tell your children, oh, you cannot go to so-and-so's house kind of thing. Because they will go. Now, once they go, ask them, so how was it? What did you like? Blah, blah, blah. At some point, be the one to go and call your child.
Yeah.
Not just go telling the house. And that's why we have that house helps committee.
Yes.
Because they're the ones who go to each other's houses.
Yeah.
Be the one to actually go and say, hey, hi, my kid, hey, likes playing with your child. Oh, yeah. My name is so-and-so. Introduce yourself.
You know what? That's interesting. I've noticed this in our apartment building. The children play together. They all play together. They know each other by name, and they know where each one of them stays. The parents don't know each other.
And so when your child actually vanishes, you will assume it's a neighborhood, whereas it's probably not the neighborhood.
Exactly.
You don't know.
You don't know. So making that effort.
So it starts with small things like that.
Starting with small things.
Then invite them over for a cup of tea.
And I'm thinking, we think it's hard, but I think it's going to be uncomfortable for the first two times. It's good because when you do it the first time, because you're doing it with a stranger, because at this point we really are strangers. Yes. But when you do it the first time, it's hard. The second time, it's easier. The third time, it's almost like you're a professional because you've really broken the ice. Yeah. And I think, like I was saying earlier, it perhaps just starts with saying hi. Don't allow yourself to pass your neighbor and not say hi to
just
them.
Say hello.
Salimia, and then the next time say hi. Oh, what house number? Start a conversation.
Yeah.
So it is simple.
It is simple.
Easier than we think
it's
to build a
becoming
village.
difficult.
Yeah.
Again, because we have made all our relationships transactional.
Yeah.
I talk to my colleagues because I need them to help me on a certain project or whatever it might be. Yeah. Everything has become transactional. So you'll only talk to your neighbor when you need them to keep the noise down.
Yeah.
When you need them, it's become, why can't I just say hello for the sake of saying hello? I notice a lot with adults. They want to be organized. Again, the adults we're talking about today have been conditioned over time to do what they're told by their bosses, by the education system, or whatever else. So when you tell adults, go make a friend, they want to tell them how, when, what do I say, why should I even be saying it, right? I had an experience where I told guys, intentionally, and I think I say this every time I get an opportunity, intentionally create a village around yourself and your children.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody came and told me that was incomplete information. I said, oh, okay, how was it incomplete? You didn't tell us how.
You didn't tell us. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we are talking in a group. So I just asked, do you know him? They're standing next to each other.
Yes.
They're talking to me
Yes.
on the same topic.
Yes.
But they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Said, can you at least start by introducing yourself to your fellow parent?
Yes.
And it's okay to say, my name is so-and-so. I am Mama or Baba so-and-so.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they will, oh,
Yeah.
hey, you know.
And you see, I like that.
He likes coming to my house.
He likes coming
Oh,
to my.
he-
We don't realize how much opportunity our children give us by knowing each other, and making it easier for us.
And
to
they're
build
making
a
it
village.
easier for us
Yeah.
to actually do life.
Yeah.
Because if I know my neighbor and I can trust them,
Yeah.
I can leave my child with them. I can help them with their child, right?
Mm.
It will be the village that, yes,
Yeah.
we have kept away using the
Yeah.
dogs and the high gates.
Yeah.
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 Now, here's the other thing. Flip side. If you don't know your neighbor and you're not paying attention to who your neighbor is,
Yeah.
you will be living next door to a drug dealer
Yes.
and your child will be the
Or a
courier.
pedophile.
Or pedophile.
Yeah.
And your child will be the
The
courier.
courier. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
your child will be working for them and you have no clue why.
Yeah.
Your window is always rolled up, you're
Yeah.
always indoors, etc.
Yeah.
So knowing our neighbors and knowing the people around us, number one, will help us build the village, but will also help us identify who to keep out of the village. Yes,
Wow.
because geographically we've been put together.
We've been put together. Wow, there's a lot of opportunity that we have. We are still talking about this the brokenness, right? That necessitates the connecting. I'm still coming back to connecting generations.
Yes.
And we are talking about some of the trauma that you have seen, and now we are living the reality of that trauma. We are here. System is broken. The village has moved online, but now the people paying the price for the brokenness of the system and the village moving online are our children, and we are also paying that price because I don't know if there is any parent who doesn't want to have a good, healthy relationship with their children. They are, at least a good parent does want to have a good and healthy relationship with their children, but there is a distance. I feel there is a distance. I feel there is a disconnect. The question I want to ask there is, number one, what are some of the things as a parent I look out for and say, even at a tender age in the child, I say, here there is a disconnection. We are disconnecting with my child. There is a distance in the way he's responding, in the way we're having conversations. So what are some of the signs to look out for? And secondly, again, coming back to that question on practical. So now I know that there is a disconnect. How do I rebuild? How do I begin to rebuild and reconnect? So that we continue to create healthy connections with our children as we move along.
Okay, I think identifying it has to do with, if you look at a younger child, they will prefer to spend time with other people instead of you.
Yeah.
Meaning that house help or the other parent or their siblings or whoever it is that's around them. You will find them preferring to spend time with other people.
Yeah.
For teens, they will be in their rooms,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Or on their gadgets or whatever. They will not spend time with you. That is very clear, right? Okay, so let's say you have bullied them into spending time with you.
Yeah.
So how do Christians bully their children into spending time with them? They say, we have to eat together, we have to pray before meals, and we have to do devotions.
Yes.
So they come and they recite the verse, they read, they know how to recite the prayer.
Yeah.
And then parents go out there and say, but we do devotions every day.
Exactly.
Hey,
Yeah, we are a
your
family
child
altar.
is physically there because they have to be there. Emotionally, they checked out.
They're absent.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you bully your child into spending time with you, one of the things you'll find is behavior that doesn't align to all these things that you're doing in life.
Yeah.
Right? This thing you're saying, so this is what we do with my children.
Yeah.
So how come they're doing something different? Because, hey, what you're doing and thinking you're connecting with them is head knowledge, or it's to just, this is what some kids say. It's just to get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Just to get them
the
off my
evening
back.
needs to, like, just, I need to do my work. I need to
Yeah.
go back to my
Yeah.
friends or whoever. So let's get over and done with this thing.
Yeah.
In fact, when you see children rushing each other and their siblings, let's go, it's because they want to do what? Finish with this thing, so then they can
And
go
get
back
it
to what
done.
they're doing.
Yeah.
So you'll see a disconnect in behavior. They'll never tell you what's going on. They will only come and ask you for what they need if they cannot get it from somebody else. And that's where parents end up thinking, how come you only talk to me when you want something? It's because you as a parent do not listen to them unless you want something, right? So how do you, those are some of the ways of noticing
Yeah.
that is happening.
Yeah.
So how do you then repair it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just put everything down and listen to that child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Take them out to places that they like. And even if you're not taking them out, because sometimes when you say that taking them out, you say, okay, so where's the money coming from? It's as simple as, what do you like?
Yeah.
It's as simple as, so you're forcing them to do the dishes. So how about teaching them to negotiate? There could be one kid who likes washing dishes, the other one likes cleaning the house.
Yes.
So how about telling them, okay, fine, if you don't like doing it, how would you want to get this done?
Yeah.
You don't have to do things my way.
Yeah.
How would you like to get them done?
Yeah.
So it also includes involving them in parenting them. So children will tell you what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And listen to them.
Yeah.
If it is a non-negotiable for you, if it's a non-negotiable for you, then tell them why it's a non-negotiable. Right? And see whether there's another alternative.
Yeah.
As you're doing that, what will happen is, because you're not overreacting,
Yeah.
you're not shouting back or whatever, the child will begin to trust you and will begin to say, okay, so maybe you are genuinely interested. Then they try out the next thing. Then they try out the next thing. Teenagers will drop for you bombs, right? They will tell you, they will come and ask you questions just when you think that now we understand each other. They'll come and ask you a question that will make you want to ground them, right? E.g., Dad, what would you do if you discovered I was gay? Right? So by that time, who are you seeing? Now you start looking at all his friends as though they're
all the
suspicious.
mistakes.
You see a handsome one, you're thinking, what are they doing with that one?
It's probably that Kyle.
Yeah. But what they want to do is see, can I trust you?
Yes. Yeah.
We have all those jokes that we say about the kid who came and said, hey, Nani did this, the neighbor or a friend. They did this, they got E, they did this, they were suspended. Then the father gets so agitated by the neighbor's kid. So they're so angry
at the neighbor's
then
kid.
the kid comes and says, I got a D-. So how does he you get? So children will also throw things your way to see, can I trust you with information about myself?
Yeah.
And that is part of building the relationship.
Yeah.
So for parents, I would say, if you notice a disconnect and you seek to repair the damage and close the gap, do not think you can close it overnight. It will take time to close it. So don't give up in the process. Another thing that I have noticed, in the counseling room, children pretend that they're upset at the parents. Okay, sometimes they're genuinely upset. But sometimes they will pretend to be upset at the parent to see whether the parent is being genuine. Right? So then parents will come and say, but she never listens. I always talk to him and he's never saying anything. Then the kid is coming and the things they are doing are informed by instructions that the parents have given them. So probably this is another thing I'd say to give hope to your audience and parents who are listening to this, is that keep doing what you know is right. Keep teaching your children, keep speaking with them. Because just because they're not showing that they're listening does not mean that they can't hear you. Right? Sometimes it's not cool to look like you agree with your parents. So you also need to maintain your image. It's an image thing. So
street cred.
Trust yourself, right? As a parent. Many are getting to the stage of 18 and the parents are still treating them like kids and they're wondering, when you don't believe in what you are doing, you don't think you did a good job raising me. Trust me, you did okay. You get. But they're not able to necessarily say it in those words. They will come and tell somebody like me who's a stranger, but they're not able to say that to their parents. So mine is to pass on to the parents, trust yourself. You've actually done a good job, whether you recognize it or not. Right? And then understand that at some point you will need to let go of this child. Right? And you will never know how closed that gap is until probably some experiences happen in life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They go out there in the world and they're facing certain adversity and they call you and say, what do you think I should do about this? Those will be the indicators that your gap is closing little by little.
Yeah.
So it's to trust yourself. First and foremost, look out for it, recognize it, do something about it little by little.
Yeah.
By listening, by spending time with them when you can, by being the voice of reason, by asking them what they would like.
Yeah.
Getting their voice into
Yeah.
this process. And then at some point, letting them go.
Yeah. Let me ask you, maybe even as I close this episode and we get to the next one. How do you balance between building that connection and not having your children, your teenagers now, losing their independence because they want to be independent? And I get the question I'm asking is, what's the point? What's the point of building, connecting the generations? What's the aim? Is it that we are all on the same page? And if we are all on the same page, by the way, I think the parent is always will always have an advantage because I am the authority, I'm the parent, So what's the point of connecting generation? What are we aiming at?
First and foremost, to be human as human were created to be, right?
Yeah.
I do not think God created family just for fun.
Yeah.
Right? We were created really to be there for each other.
Yeah.
So innately,
yeah,
we seek to connect.
We seek to connect. It's
From
not good
the
for
minute
man to be alone.
That baby is born, they seek to connect with the humans that they see around them. They're able to sense better than, as we grow older, we lose the ability and the skill more than the ability to actually connect with somebody. But first and foremost, we were born and created to connect with other human beings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the point? You don't need to be on the same page. In fact, if you're always on the same page, there's somebody who's not doing what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
There's a parent who's behaving like a teenager or a teenager who's too adult.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For you to be on the same page.
Yeah.
A story we laugh at. When I was growing up, I loved reading the Cosmopolitan magazine. I don't even know whether it's still in circulation. But a lot of the time it had all this, like it would have semi-nude ladies on the cover and all that stuff. My mom, on the other hand, was a librarian, loved books, etc., and of course preferred that I read a certain type of book.
Yeah.
But hey, wasn't interested.
Yeah.
One time I remember having this Cosmo on the table, and then I was drinking something and put it on the magazine. She pulled off that glass and told me, just because I don't agree with what you're reading does not mean you disrespect what you read.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Until today, you can't put anything on a magazine in my house or on a book. You have to respect books,
You have
right?
to respect books.
So at that point in time, it wasn't that she agreed with what I was reading.
Yes.
The principle she was teaching me is respect publications.
Yeah.
Fine, one day you'll stop reading this.
That's a
I
very
pray
good
hope.
librarian.
But respect the thing at the very least.
Yeah.
So it's to understand that even if we are not on the same page,
Yeah.
just because I don't approve of my child's friends
Yeah.
does not mean that they're not finding something in that friend. So how about I seek to understand, what do you like in this person?
Yeah.
You might find that my child has the values that have brought them up with are so ingrained that they're actually helping out this other kid who's not necessarily a good kid, right? So by the time I'm telling my child, don't hang out with this person. How are they ever going to test the things that I have taught them? So we don't have to be on the same page about everything. We just need to understand that the thing we are pushing for here is values, certain values that, we need to have. You're trying to raise a child who can thrive in society, wherever that society may be, right? If they got this nice big job and then they were posted to Timbuktu, would they survive there?
Yeah.
What are the skills that would actually help them survive?
Yeah.
And it's talking to strangers, interacting with people who are different from them. So you can't be on the same page all the time.
Yeah.
You need, more than anything else, to have the same vision
Yeah.
with your child.
Yeah.
And vision is not Dr. Nani.
Yeah. It's not engineer so and
It's not
so.
engineer. It's not title based.
Yeah.
Vision is, who are you going to be?
Yeah.
when you're older. Not
Yeah.
who are you going to be working as,
Yeah.
who as a person are you going to be?
Yeah.
Are you going to be respectful?
Yeah.
What is it going to take? Now, those are the things that make connection the point.
The point. That's
Give
why-
connection the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
What's the point? That you want this adult
Yeah.
to thrive as an adult.
Yeah.
Right? And the
Yeah.
only way to do it is to get these connections happening as they're growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the connection is very important because God gave us these children so that we would help them become what He's purposed them to be. The Bible says, what does He, in Malachi 2:15, what does He expect of you other than godly offspring?
raise
Other
a
than
godly
to raise a godly offspring.
yeah.
And a godly offspring is not engineer so-and-so, as you were saying, is how loving is this person? How honorable is this person? Is this a person who's committed to their word? Is this a person of integrity?
Yeah.
Is this a person who cares about people and cares about the things around them? And they can only learn that from their parents, and that can only happen in an environment of connectedness. Let's close this episode, and I want to come back to the next episode, and I want to ask you, now we've said all these things, but I have also heard parents especially say, and many parents, not all, many parents say that teenagers are just difficult. Let's begin that conversation from there.
We shall do that.
This is Healing for the Family. We are praying for the family, and see you again soon. Have a good night.
Good night.